I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Jesus, the notorious just. Please us with your lyrical thesis. We just chillin', milk 'em, hot billin', silkin', pure linen, vegan, little seeds, Malibu sea breeze, don't be. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing here? What's good? Happy weekend. Let's get it. Hey, so we back. Today I'm mixing it up, man. You know, this is a beer, Yingling. Make sure I can get it up there. You can get it. It's kind of funny. They don't distribute it in Illinois. You can go over the border. You can go to Indiana and get it. You can get it out east. It's an East Coast beer. Ohio, Indiana, Philly, Pittsburgh, all that way, Pennsylvania, all that way. You can go around. I think you can get it south Illinois. I don't know why they don't distribute it in Illinois, but it's a good beer. So that's what we on today. Hey, what's good? What's happening? We back. I think I spoke too soon. I was like, league a little boring. We don't have no activity, but we got caught up. We got may not come out to be a lot, but we got a little gambling schedule on. So we got hit with Michael Porter's brother last year. He got banned. He was gambling on himself. So recently it popped up. Scary Terry Rozier. He down in Miami now. I guess all the drama in Miami. The league has already made the investigation into him. I think they did it last year. This stems from a game back in March of 2023. He left the game early, and I guess there were extensive bets on the under for him. His PRA under, points under. And he played the first quarter. He checked out the first quarter, didn't come back in the game. Now, the league did the investigation and said there was nothing wrong. Well, now the government has gotten into it. And my thoughts are it's one of these, it's probably a mob racketeering type thing where people are, they got a few people and people are spilling the beans. You know, you get a guy in the room, man, he gonna start talking, he gonna start talking like a canary. Tell me what you want to know. So my guess is somebody started talking and maybe his name came up. But if the NBA already found him, not guilty or whatever, or nothing, no incriminating charges on him, maybe it'll go away. But this could be a part of something. I did it again. This could be a part of something bigger. So keep watch. Let's see what happens. But right now, nothing but a lot of noise in the background. And that's the last thing they need in Miami. Your boy Jimmy got suspended again, a couple of games, missing the flight. I think we might have talked about that. So he's out. No, I'm sorry. He missed the flight. That was one. This time he came to practice last week. And they told him he wasn't starting. Jimmy walked out of practice. He said, I got you not starting. I'm out. Gave him the two fingers. Jimmy said, I'm gone. Now, then he goes start posting. He unemployed. He posting his American Express card don't work. Man, Jimmy crazy. We might be seeing Jimmy's farewell tour. There's rumors of him in Golden State. Tibbs, I don't know if Tibbs want him in New York, but it's going to be interesting to see, man. Every day that goes by, his value goes down. So it's less and less that Miami can get for him. But I really think at this point, Pat Riley don't care. He's just going to do it his way. Well, that's nice and cold. It's been a good week. So another trade story. So De'Aaron Fox is on the market. Now, this one is kind of interesting coming off the Mike Brown firing. So if you think back when a lot of this noise was going on, Mike Brown was being hard on De'Aaron Fox. And a few of the stars, rightfully so, right? They wasn't playing well. But that's Mike Brown. He old school coach. He was going after him. But come to find out, De'Aaron Fox spoke up and was like, hey, me and Mike are good. We've always been good. Like, he has. And I kind of thought when this was going down that I thought De'Aaron Fox was tougher than that. I didn't think he was that kind of guy that's going to call for the coach's head. Comes to find out, they cool. So now he's on the trade market because he hasn't committed to signing an extension with them. So this makes me think, like, did ownership throw Fox out there to make him look like the bad guy so they could get rid of Mike Brown. For whatever reason, maybe it was some other dudes, maybe it was DeRozan. Like, they ain't really got a lot of stars. I don't see Sabonis really complaining. He doesn't strike me as that kind of individual. So is this a play where ownership's trying to get out of something and threw it on De'Aaron Fox? And now De'Aaron Fox is like, all right, you know what, guys? Guess what? I'm out. If this is how y'all going to treat my mans, I know what's coming next for me, so let me go now. Now, he said he wants to go to San Antonio. Interesting choice. You got an upcoming, you got a superstar in Wemby. You got Castle up, but I think they want Castle in this trade. If they were to go that route, they're going to want Castle. Castle's one of the top rookies. Actually, we talk about it later, but he's probably top rookie in the league right now. So what are they willing to? They don't have a lot of trade assets. They got some young guys. They got some picks. So maybe that's what they can get out of it. So now we got Fox on the move. And that will probably happen because they're not going to let him walk out of there as a free agent. So they probably will trade him. And if they trade Fox, it's going to have a ripple effect on that franchise. They've always struggled. They're going to go back to being the old Sacramento Kings. So that's where we at the trade line. Not a lot. The next dude up is Nurkic. We got down in Phoenix, man. Well, one, the team hasn't achieved, they've underachieved now. We're going on 3 years since the Bradley, two and some change with the Bradley Beal trade. It just ain't working down there, man. It's just not, we talked about them not having a point guard. They went and got Tyus Jones. They playing a little bit better, but it ain't coming. Now they pointing the finger at Bradley Beal. Like, they were yelling, calling him a bum in front of his family, man. I think fans need to just respect the game. Like, I'm a firm believer in, if we was on the streets, I guarantee you wouldn't say that shit out loud if I was walking down the street by myself and you was by yourself. So treat the game that way and treat everybody with respect, man, on the court. I know you paid your money, but that doesn't give you the right to say anything. That's why Stevie Jackson and Ron Artest went in the stands, and I still stand behind both of them and Jermaine O'Neal. You say what you want, but you got to suffer the consequences. I don't care if you paid your money or not. So the Bradley thing may expire. He just make too much money. Like, you stuck. You made that move, man. Bradley Beal make a lot of money. So you got to trade him for like. Maybe Jimmy. I heard that. Maybe Jimmy goes down, and maybe that way you get two big contracts. Bradley Beal would do all right in Miami. But is how Jimmy going to do it in Phoenix? I don't know, man. Right now, I don't know. I'm not sure about Jimmy's mental well-being. So those are the hottest things on the trade market. You keep hearing Zach LaVine rumblings. Nothing on Zach. Now, my boy, I wonder, but he's been starting late. I'm always giving I'm going to talk about the Ball family. Pause. Zoe started the last few games, man, and been hooping. I'm just happy to see him back on the court, man. The Bulls playing like a 4. Hey, DJ, this for you, man. I'm happy for your Bulls, but Zoe's still getting traded. I wonder how they showcasing him now coming up to the trade deadline to show that he's healthy, because he's playing he playing 25 plus minutes. He actually playing well, shooting the ball. You can see it. And it could be mental. He's not getting to the rim like he used to, but he can get up and down the court. He playing defense. His defensive rating is highest on the Bulls right now, especially when he's on the floor. The Bulls are a better team with him on the floor. So, I don't know. That's where we at. We're going to see, though. But things should start happening over the next week or two. We ought to start seeing some trade moves. You're going to see a lot of itsy-bitsy, a draft pick here. You get a second rounder here. You're going to see some of that stuff. But let's see if we see some big activity. As far as the week, we had some good performances. SGA might be slowly but surely solidifying his MVP case, man. He dropped 50 on the Warriors. They lost. They took the L. It wasn't due to Steph playing great. Steph only had 20. That is average. But SGA dropped 50, and that's his second 50 ball in like 7 days, man. He hooping. AD went for 40. What do you have? 43 and 23 versus Charlotte. But typical AD, the next game he went out, man. He's been out the last few games with an abdominal strain. So let's see. Hopefully, man, this is short term. AD, the last couple of years, we can't talk about AD, man. Street clothes, nope. He's been showing up. He's been playing, actually been playing very well. He's begging Lakers brass for a big man. He really wants to see if him and Brian can get back to the championship. I don't see it. You could go get Nurkic. Nurkic would be nice to put next to him because he ain't doing nothing up there in Phoenix right now. You can go get Nurkic. But maybe. So let's see what happened. Clay pulled out a Clay performance, man. We hadn't seen it. We've been wanting to see this. We might have saw it twice earlier in the year, but Clay dropped 7 threes in the first quarter, man. Went 7 for 12. Dropped 23 for the game. And then came back the next night and hit 6 for 12 from downtown. So maybe we can start getting some consistency out of Clay, man. I'd love to see it. He averaging about 13, but I'd like to see Clay averaging about 17 to 18, especially with Luka out. Somebody got to score. So I'd like to see Clay get those numbers up, man. So those are the big performances of the week. Around the league. So I told you I want to get that 300-point game. We got 273 this week. The Mavs and the Pelicans, 137, 136. Mavs. We had 266. We'll talk about this game a little bit. Rockets, Cavs. Rockets won. Then we had the Grizzlies and the Pels, 139, 126, 265. So we getting there. We're going to get it. We're going to get it because nobody play defense. So we had some great games this week, and guess what? Guess who was in all these games? The Rockets had a hell of a week. They beat the Cavs. They beat the Celtics. They lost to Memphis the other night. And then they had another good, maybe those were the three, yeah. Memphis, yeah, it was the Memphis game, the Celtics game. They beat the Cavs. So they had a good week. The Rockets they beat the Celtics at their own game. Jalen Green went off. What's his name? He went 10 for 12 from downtown, hitting the threes. Dylan Brooks was 10 for 15. So they beat Boston at their own game, and they play a lot of defense, man. I'm telling you, the Rockets are young. Amir, excellence. Look that up if y'all get a chance. Him and his brother, their middle names are Excellence, and it's spelled XLC or something like that. XLCE. It stands for excellence. That's their middle name. Hey, parents did all right. They both in the league. Name my kids Excellence. Well, I mean, I should have. I ain't no more kids. They beat the Celtics. The other night, the Grizz beat them by 1. And this could turn out to be a great matchup. Maybe a 4-5. But these are probably, for the next 5 years, these are going to probably be two of the best teams in the league, man. They're both young, well coached, got young superstars. This was without Ja. They beat them without, Ja didn't play. But the Rockets are also without Jabari Smith for a while. So it was a good matchup. And the teams are very similar in how they play. Both gritty. Can shoot the ball well. They got serviceable big men, and they can get to the lane. And that's really, in today's league, that's kind of the mix you need, man. If you notice something, I know about 4 years ago, we thought the big man was gone. He's back, man. Now, and not all of these big guys are shooting threes. You look at a guy like Zubac. I was a big fan when he was with the Lakers. He's still holding on. The other night he had almost like a 20-20 game. Zubac made a place in his way. You look at Sengun. Sengun doesn't shoot a lot of threes. Stevie Adams still playing. The other night he had 14 in that win against the Rockets. They drafted Zach Edey. Y'all didn't think Zach was going to make it. Zach Edey's around. Mason Plumlee. That's the reason he just run the floor. He rebound. He block shots. He's an athlete, though. If you watch Mason Plumlee, I think he might be a volleyball player, too. He's an athlete. Even Nurkic, big guy. All these guys don't shoot threes, man. Some of these dudes just in the paint doing work. Joker, he can shoot it, and he might shoot 1 or 2, 3 a game, but he in the lane doing dirty work. We're not going to talk about Embiid, but when he does play, he kind of started playing more on the outside than he does inside, but probably that's due to injury. But my point being, there's a space for big guys in the league. But anyway, so the Rockets had all the great games. There were some other decent games, but the Rockets really had a really great week, knocking out some of the top teams in the league. And Amir Thompson, man, is coming to his own. And also Jalen Green. We're gonna talk about Jalen Green, man. He's averaging 20 plus. All those games he's leading scorer. But he didn't get that nod. We'll talk about the All-Stars in a little bit. That's probably what we're gonna transition to. But I like the Rockets. Again, we talk about them. They ranking up there in the top of the league right now. They're a top 5 team. So moving on to the All-Stars. So we announced the reserves this week. So the reserves, we talked about the starters, and I'm going to flip real quick because I don't know them off the top. So for the West, the starters are Joker, Durant, SGA, Brian, and Steph. Steph might be a little questionable. I'm going to just be honest with you. You look at his numbers. I know he's always been great, but his numbers ain't top 10 right now. Giannis, Tatum, Spider, Jalen, and Cat. I can't really argue with those. A lot of Knicks, but we can't argue with that. So your reserves for the West. Now here we're going to argue a lot. Ant-Man, AD, James Harden, Jaren Jackson, Sengun, Jalen Williams from Memphis, and Wemby. Now, before I even go to that, let's talk about the East. Jaylen Brown, Siakam, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham. Hey, Mikey, that's for you, man. I told you Cade was going to make it this year. Dame Lillard. So we got 2 Bucks. And then Tyler Hero. So, now, I'm not going to argue all of these guys, but there's 5 guys that I circled that should not be on this All-Star team. Should not be a reserve. James Harden ain't the best player on his team this year. I don't know if they're voting for these guys based on their past, but James Harden is not better than Norman Powell this year. Norman Powell averaging 24 a game. He should be on the All-Star team. Jalen Williams, I love Memphis is playing great. He ain't the second best player on that team. I know Jai's out, so maybe I think you're gonna see a theme with these guys. Everybody on these reserves, their team is top 8, right? They're in the playoff picture, right? So all these teams. So they gave you 2 Memphis guys, no Ja, but they gave you Jalen Williams, Jaren Jackson. Jalen is out. Why? Give me Josh Green. Give me Norman Powell. Like I said, you can swap Norman Powell for James Harden. What about Kyrie? Luka out, Kyrie out there fighting, but his team ain't top 8 right now. They on the border. Devin Booker, they rising. Book been consistent all year. Book is sort of falling into that Tatum category where we take Book for granted. And I'm guilty of that too. I don't see him a lot. I do watch from time to time. Book come to work and he going to give you 27 every night, 26 every night. They put him at point guard. He still gave you 27 last year. I think we starting to not appreciate Book's greatness. And he got a great car collection. If you've never seen it, go look it up. You think Book from the West Coast the way he moved. So those two guys, man, I just can't support the reserves. Now the East is ridiculous. And we ain't heard Siakam name all year. Pacers just started playing well. And maybe they're gonna giving it to him because Halliburton wasn't playing well. So, but the Pacers ain't did much. Darius Garland, I get it. Cleveland best team. I'm not giving you 3 guys from Cleveland. I get it. You got Mobley, you got Spider. Even Spider numbers, they the best team. Spider got in on votes. His numbers ain't top 5. But the team is playing great. So you rewarded the team for winning. I get it. And I go back. Sorry, I said Jalen Williams from Memphis. I mean OKC. That other Jalen is at Memphis. So OKC has 2. So that's why they did that. Memphis has Jaren Jackson. So OKC has 2. You got to get 2 in because they're in first place. So you got to squeeze it in. Back to the East. And then you got Tyler Hero. Man, stop. All right. So I'm going to give you some reference points. Siakam, 36 in the league in scoring. Darius Garland, 28 in scoring. Tyler Hero, 18. I ain't even talking about the snubs in the East. I get it. Melo's team is terrible. But like I told you, man, the All-Star game is shit right now. We're going to try this new format. We're going to divide these players up. So these squads will be divvied up into 3 teams. Those 3 teams, plus you're going to add the winner of the Rising Stars. Man, you put Melo on that court and it's exciting. None of these guys are all-star, a lot of these guys are fundamental team player guys, right? Giannis, he gonna dribble downfield. Tatum gonna shoot a lot of threes. Spider may get you a couple of dunks. Jalen Brunson, nothing exciting. Cat, nothing exciting. Jalen Brown can't go left. Siakam, nothing. Darius Garland, nothing. Mobley, nothing. Cade, probably the most exciting on that roster. None of these guys can do it on a yo-yo, do nothing exciting. That's what the All-Star game is at. Like, I don't need everybody just shooting threes or pick and rolling. Melo gonna make the game exciting. He gonna do some wild stuff on the court. People gonna ooh and ah. He gonna make everybody else play. Tyrese Max, come on, man, stop. I know Philly's bad. This is why I say they picked the players where their teams were doing well. Maxey number 6 in scoring, Melo number 4. I'll even give Zach LaVine a nod over a couple of these guys. But anyway, that's your All-Star reserves. The game, all I can say is I'm sort of with Stephen A on this one. If this game is that bad, cancel the whole weekend. Just let's have a week off. Maybe play a G League All-Star game, or maybe just keep it to a couple of skills things. No dunk contest. If you're not bringing in street dudes to get in the dunk contest, cancel the dunk contest. Maybe just a 3-point shootout contest, some skills competition. If you're watching the Pro Bowl this weekend, maybe it's 3-on-3. Maybe you have a 3-on-3 tournament or something. But this is their last hurrah on this one. If this don't work, just get rid of it. All right, now we're gonna talk about. We always like to end on our Power 5 list. I think I want to get the rookies out the way, man, because let's get the rookies out the way. So, again, not a lot of change. We talked about Castle. Castle's probably trade bait right now. If some of these superstars want to come. Because you're probably at the point now, if you start thinking the future, you got to put a superstar next to Wemby. And if it takes Castle and a pick to get a De'Aaron Fox locked in for 4 to 5 years, then you go do it. You trade them picks, you re-sign Fox, you give him that extension, you get him and Wemby. That's a nice little something to get you working, man, to get San Antonio back to that championship where they always are. But he's playing well, man. Out of his last 4 games, Castle's had 4 20-point. Last 8 games, Castle's had 4 20-point games. So he's coming around. He's coming around. Like, none of these guys are that Anthony Edwards impact player this year, but this group of rookies they'll be solid. Like, they're going to be 10-year guys. They're going to get a pension. They're going to be around a long time. Now, will they make all-star teams? Maybe, maybe not. But they might develop into these 19, 20-point scoring guys that play for a long time. Wells in Memphis, 11-3. Just not a lot of growth from him this year. I'd like to see these guys' point production go up, and it's not really moving. Like, I'm not seeing improvement outside of Castle. Sarr, same thing. He's probably the best rebounder out of the group as far as complete game, 11, 7, and 2. But he had a rough week, 4, 11, 14, 10, and 6. He's the third. He's number 3. I got Zach, number 1 pick. He actually got his first 30-point game last week. He had 20 points in the first quarter. First half, he ended up with 30. So shout out to him. That was the best game he's probably played all year. So good job. Now, my boy had a couple of games. Now, he's coming in at number 5. I'm giving it to Connect. The Lakers just got to find minutes for him, man. When he plays, he scores. He had 24, 13, 13, 10, but he was getting 20 minutes. You give him 20 minutes, he's going to get warm. He's going to shoot the lights out. You got to give him time on the court. Like, y'all ain't that good where you can't give him minutes. Oh, my bad. You got to save 5 to 10 minutes for Bronny, so that's probably why Connect ain't getting his minutes. And then my boy Zach Edey. Zach had a couple of good games last week. He had a double-double, 13-11. He averaged about 15 minutes a game. They got a few big guys. But he played 24 minutes, had 13-11. Another game he played 28, he had 19-9. Zach gonna be like Zubac. He gonna play a long time, man. He doesn't look clunky, like his body's he got a little beef to him, right? Pause. He's a big guy. You know, if he keep his weight right, he'll play for a while, man. He'll play for a while. So they're your rookies, man. Like I say, right now, Castle's probably your rookie of the year. Barring any injuries, he should be able to hold on. I just don't see these guys elevating. If anything, numbers are going to drop after the All-Star break because that season gets long. Like, guys' fatigue going to kick in, legs get weary. So, we'll see. I'll go to the teams next, man, and I think we all know. But my guys, there's some teams rising, man. This might shock you, though. I'm gonna go 6 teams. Only because Memphis is playing so well. They don't want like 7 out of 8 out of 10. They lead the league in scoring. And they played a few games without Ja. But Memphis is, I like them, man. I like them down there. They got a nice mix of young guys. Jaren Jackson's coming to his own. Ja has been, the ultimate teammate, playing well. A couple of injuries here and there. I'm glad he's dunking again. You got the leadership of Conley. Like it's all working down there. I like it. It's all working, and they play good defense. Number 5 out of Knicks, man. The Knicks are coming now. They had a slow start, but I think what we're seeing now are they starting to gel. Anobi, Cat, Josh Hart. Josh Hart, one of my favorite players, man, because he just come. I don't even have a guy in the league historically I compare him to because he's like 6'4", 6'5", maybe a Joe Dumars. That might be a great comparison with Josh. Because Josh rebounds his ass off. He plays defense. He can shoot the 3. He gets to the lane. Josh just go to work, man. He an East Coast Villanova kid. He goes to work. Jalen Brunson's finally getting his groove back. Cat playing very well out east. And you got this McBride dude, man. McBride coming off the bench, giving them great production. So the Knicks are coming. Number 4 is Boston, man. And I'll tell you who made the jump. Boston they don't look good right now. They're winning, but they just don't. Something doesn't look right. Porzingis has had some moments where he looked crazy, man. He looks really good. Like the other night he came out. Probably hit 3 threes in the first quarter, 4 threes in the first quarter. And I know Al Horford's been out a little bit, so maybe it's a matter of it could be a little bit of just injuries, just getting it rather. Their bench is not producing like it did last year either, man. So I don't know. I got Boston at 4. I put the Rockets up there. I told you Rockets had a great week, man. They knocking people off. Udoka has them down there, man. I think he got his personal life back together. He playing. He got these guys hooping. And you think about it. When he got Boston was young. And he turned Boston. At this time, Boston was probably better defensively than they are now because you had guys like Marcus Smart. And they had some dogs back there, And this is sort of the same model he's using down in Houston, right? They shoot the 3, but they don't go crazy with the 3. He got a big guy, and he's developed this guy. Like, we didn't know who this guy was coming into the league. This guy's gotten better since he's been in Houston. And Houston is playing, like, their plus or minus offense defense is like 5.5. So that tells me, you look at the last games they won last week, they beat the Cavs by 4. They beat the Grizzlies by 1. They beat the Celtics by 2. No, they lost by 1. They know how to finish games and win close games. If you want to make it in the playoffs, you got to be able to close out. And just because they're not winning all their games by 10 to 12 points, that's okay. But they're winning close games, and that's what really counts, man. If you can take a close game and you can close out, that's a big win. So that's sort of how Houston's playing right now. Number 2 is OKC. They just can't seem. I think they're only game and a half back at Cleveland. And they holding on without Chet, man. I don't know when Chet's coming back, but I think when Chet comes back, they're gonna turn this corner, man, and we might see a dominant second half by OKC. These guys have stepped up. They're playing well. And Cleveland's success comes down to, and I'm going to give you a stat. I wrote it here, and I'm going to find out where I wrote it. When they lost when the Rockets beat Cleveland, the big guys went for 15 and 13. Cleveland's success is going to come down to Mobley and Jared Allen, especially during the playoffs. If they can dominate the paint like they do when they playing well, they're going to go as far. Cleveland's going to go as far as those two take them. It's not a guard play thing with them. They have great guard play. But when those bigs dominate the paint, like I was just telling you, there's a role for the big guys in this game. When they dominate the play, Cleveland is hard to beat. But when they had games where they combine them for 15 and 13, you run Cleveland out the gym. That's what's going to be the key to Cleveland's success. So keep watching that as you go. So there it is. So Cleveland at 1 again, OKC at 2. Houston has moved up to 3 again. Let's go change a little bit. Boston at 4. I'm going to tell you the Knicks are only a game behind Boston. They're going to catch Boston right now. By the time we talk again, the Knicks will be a little higher than Boston. And Memphis is coming too. Boston, I know they're defending champs, but it's going to be a lot tougher this year. It's going to be a lot tougher. We're going to wrap it up, and I think everybody knows this. The MVP right now is for Shea to lose. I don't see, as well as Joker and Giannis are playing, Shea is kind of playing crazy right now. And he's playing it so efficiently. Last week, 52, 35, 31, 51, 27, 40. That's his last 7 games. And he's doing this shooting over 45%. Close to 50. Like he's at that level right now, especially for the guards. It's not even a close second at the guard right now with him. That's how he's dominating at the guard position. Joker had a rough week after he put up 35, 27, and 17. Listen to that again. 35, 27, 17. If I do a quick PRA, that was what? 35, 27, 62, 79, close to 80? He ain't going to hit that too often. But he'll cover it. If you put it at 70, he covered it. But then he struggled a couple of games, man. But Denver's, I like Denver. I watched them against the Bulls the other night, man. And every time I talk about the Joker, I got to talk about Russ because they go together. But the Joker's fine. And right now it's a tie between him and Giannis. Giannis also had a great week. He averaged 33 and 14 last week. High game of 39. They're number 4 in the East, so they're working their way back up there. I just don't think they have the talent to get back into the championship races, no matter what Giannis and Dame do. 2 guys can't beat 5. Chris Middleton is just not the same, man. Father time and injuries just catch up to you. Bobby Porter's playing well. They just don't have enough firepower. It's going to all come back to that Drew Holiday trade. I don't care what nobody says, man. That trade didn't pay off for them. And then after that, it's kind of those 3. Everybody else is just in the conversation because I got to complete the 5. KD, 27, 6, and 4. Phoenix. KD, another one. So like Book, you take it for granted, but it's what he does night in and night out, man. It's just a matter of these guys are at a point now, this generation, your KDs, your LeBrons, they can get you that 27, 26 every night. But can they get you that 35, 40 when you really need to put the team on your back to get that win? And can they do it 2, 3, 4 nights in a row? I just don't think they can anymore. They can still score, but I don't think they can put the team on their back like they used to and take a team to wins. I just think that day is over with. And then Tatum. Tatum just Tatum, man. 26, 9, and 5. He do it every night. I kind of want more out of him. I want to see him give me 30, average 30. Average 30. You shoot enough threes. Average 30. And here's a funny thing. Gilbert Arenas said this. Gilbert say some wild shit. The scoring, as high as these games are, how did he put it? Dudes are shooting threes at a level you would think proportionally the scoring would go up a lot more, but it's not. You follow what I'm saying? Like they're probably shooting, let's give an example. Teams are probably shooting 50% more threes than they have in the last 10 years. Let's say that. But has scoring gone up 50% more than teams have, or even 40%, 30%. It's not happening. You know why? Because guys are shooting poor percentage. As much as Tatum shoots, so this is where I'm going with this. As much as Tatum shoots, you would think he was averaging 30 a game for the amount of threes that he shoots. He's working so hard, man. Just go to the rim. So this goes back to my guys like Kobe, when James Harden. James shot a lot of threes, but he got a lot of three-point plays. These guys scored 37, 35 every night off of twos. Getting to the lane, scoring buckets, man. You're just shooting threes, but you're not scoring points. But I'm going to leave you with that. Something to think about. Hey, but another great time. We're going to wrap it up. I want y'all to have a great weekend. We got some good games. We're going to ease into the All-Star break. We got 2 more weeks. We got the Super Bowl. Then we'll go into All-Star weekend. Let's cross our fingers that it goes well. So, hey, love y'all. Appreciate you. God bless. Tell your friends. Like and subscribe. Later.